Hey party people, welcome back to another Nerds in Squares podcast presented by PvP Fun. I'm your host with the most, Captain Zeus, followed by these lovely gentlemen we have here. We got Novaverse returning back, and our favorite guests and collaborators, Lucky and DP, also back in another MCU podcast episode. We're going to talk about Marvel, the Marvel Universe, the rumors, the confirmations, supposedly, and kind of just what's happening again in the MCU. I know we did one last time about like if the MCU was dead. This isn't really about that specifically. It's just more of like what's Marvel doing? What the interesting stuff that's been circulating. For example, there was a rumor going around, and if you haven't, we drop Marvel news on our channel essentially every week. Definitely go like and subscribe to BP Fun there. But we dropped where they're going to be doing Silver Surfer, right? Fantastic Four antagonist turned partner, hero, anti-hero thing. The Herald of Galactus. They're gonna make her a her instead of a he, because it's Norrin Rand. It's a guy, right? And they're gonna make Norrin Rand a female Silver Surfer in this. And I was corrected in the video that there has never been a female Silver Surfer. There's always been female Heralds of Galactus, but never a female Silver Surfer. So I don't know why they want to do this. They seem to be on the track record of just gender swapping, race swapping people a lot. Typically male to female swaps, and I'm not a fan of it. I mean, look at the Ancient One, old wise Asian guy into some bald white lady. Like I'm not a fan of that. It's not kind of what I was looking for in a mystical movie, and in a movie where supposedly if Galactus is involved, I mean, it's like we're watching Rise of the Silver Surfer all over again, which I feel like we shouldn't do Galactus and the Silver Surfer yet. I think that's just too soon in terms of introduction, especially since we still don't even have our Fantastic Four. We don't even have the cast yet. And supposedly they want to cast Anya Taylor-Joy as Sue Storm or the Silver Surfer or just a villain in the movie. They're trying to get her in that movie. And I'm like, why? Great actress. Love her. Gorgeous. But why? I don't know. Lucky, what are you thinking about this?
I hate it. So basically, my biggest thing when we talk about gender swapping and race swapping and everything, I love the women actresses. I love the characters that we've had. Came out with the Marvels. I liked Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, so I'm not opposed to having female leads play prominent roles within the MCU.
Of course.
My biggest problem is not even necessarily the gender swapping itself. It's what happens when they tend to gender swap, right? It's the fact that if you go back and you look at what they did to Taskmaster and Black Widow, for example, as an example, because that's one of the uh, earlier ones that they did that in. They completely ripped everything that made Taskmaster, and that's doing a disservice to the actress who's trying to portray the character. It's doing a disservice to the character itself in a way. When you have to kind of change everything about it and rip everything apart and kind of start anew, and then it's not good. Like it's just a mute lady who wears a costume and it's called Project Taskmaster, and it's like you're just doing too much with it. I feel like there's too much going on. I feel like that's not going to help you, right? Because you're already going to have people who disagree with gender swapping as is. So then when you pile on to all the changes you make to said character, it's just going to sting even more for that solid fan base that you have. So me personally, I can't get around it. I don't like it. I don't think that's a good fit for Anya Taylor-Joy. And I honestly, to your point, Zeus, I don't think that's smart to go and do Galactus and Silver Surfer yet. I don't think to introduce the Fantastic Four in that way, I feel like it's kind of, you're swinging too big there for what you're trying to do. You're trying to initiate them into the MCU. You're trying to get them ready to go into Secret Wars and go into the greater scheme of things. And when you do something that's that hard hitting and that prevalent to those characters, I feel like there's so many more stories you could do with them and kind of start building upon that. If that's something that you want to do later on, maybe Yeah, for sure. You could throw a hint of Galactus in the movie. You could throw a little sprinkle of Silver Surfer, just little things, right? But to just throw them in immediately like that and then make a giant leap of we're gonna gender swap when there's never been a woman Silver Surfer. And like at that point, why don't you just have one of his other associates, right? That you were just talking about, who's women. Like, you could easily do that. But I know the reason why they're doing it is because everybody loves Silver Surfer. Everybody talks about Silver Surfer. So they want that like viewership. They want people to be all on top of it. But I just don't think you're doing justice to the character or the actress when you do that because you're changing too much about it. That's me.
That's great points for sure. Nova, what are you thinking about this, man? What are you thinking?
Well, right off the bat, I don't know how they're gonna do Silver Surfer's hair. You know what I mean? If they do a woman, because the brother's bald and silver hair don't look. It's gonna look a little weird. You know what I mean? It's gonna look a little funky. But honestly,
Ooh, froze.
I'm taking a different approach. I am I
You're
good?
good. You're
Am I
good.
good, Joe? Okay. I kind of like it. I think this one is actually pretty fine to gender swap. Um, you know, I don't think you guys can definitely correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, like Silver Surfer's like gender identity, I don't know if it's like super important to his character, or anything like that. So I feel like one of these few ones, like I don't think it's gonna like super change anything about it. I just don't know about it being Anya Taylor-Joy. She doesn't really give off a Silver Surfer presence. I don't know about that. Um, you did talk about maybe her being Sue or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That one I could see that being a little bit more believable, but yeah, I don't see her being a Silver Surfer, but Silver Surfer being a woman, I think surprisingly is one of the ones that could work if they did change it to a woman.
Wow.
Um, I don't know, we can have a interesting twist on that. I don't know how. I mean, as long as they don't really like go deep into it, like, yeah, that's right. I'm female Silver Surfer or something like that. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Just like, just let her do her thing, all that good stuff, all that good jazz. Like I said, I don't know how they're gonna do her hair because the brother's bald and all that stuff. Um,
Just make her bald. I mean, they did it with the ancient one, right?
I know, but like, what's it called? Like, if they do give them Silver Surfer hair, like, does it like, is it completely silver too, or is it like different? You know what I'm trying to say? That's
Yeah.
actually interesting, pretty interesting. But that's all I got to say.
Okay, well, DP, please tell me that you are not the one here that has a hot take as well, because I don't know how I'm going to handle this. Nova already surprised me.
No, I don't mind certain characters being maybe gender swap here and there. There's just some certain characters I think should just be left alone personally. Um, Believe it or not, I actually like the Silver Surfer from the what was it, 2007 Fantastic Four, the second movie.
I think so.
Um, I don't know, like if they do it right, cool. If they don't, then you shouldn't have done that. But but like I just think that if they're going to choose someone that actually can play the part. I mean, I'm sure like on there, like she's a great actress, but like I've never seen or heard of a female Silver Surfer. So, and then a small little bit I was going to bring up that I think would have been perfect casting wise, either with John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic
Of course.
and Emily Blunt
Mm.
as Susan. Either that, either that for Susan, or she still looks good. She still looks young. Jessica Alba back as Susan, just for the fans. I think that'd be a great idea. And if they wanted to bring back Chris Evans randomly just for fun, bring him back. That's what I think. I mean, Joseph Quinn, I think I could see him as the Human Torch too. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then I don't even know who they choose or who decided to choose for the Thing.
I mean, there's nothing confirmed casting wise yet. Of course.
Okay, because I think low key we could bring back the same guy too. I think he was a fantastic Thing. Like even though he looked, he was very fantastic. Even though his rocks looked like Play-Doh, but it's okay. We're not gonna talk about that.
2002.
Yeah, 2002. We're not gonna complain about it, but I don't know. Like, I don't think it's gonna be anything too major. I'm hoping they do it right. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Like, because with Taskmaster, sure, like on paper, it's cool. Like the way that they changed up the story a little bit, whatever. I mean, I'm trying to give it some type of positivity here and there. But I did not like that they make the character an anti-hero. Like that's my problem with a lot of the villains that we have now in the MCU. Instead of making them full-fledged villains, they just make them anti-heroes. Yeah, like Venom. Like I low-key wanted him to be a villain before becoming an anti-hero, just like in the comics where he attacks Spider-Man first just as his threat, and then eventually they'd start teaming up and then start doing things well. Same with Morbius. I mean, Morbius is not supposed to be a good guy, for God's sake.
It's
He's supposed to
Morbin
be
time.
He's supposed to be a it ain't Morbin time here. First of all, nah. No, first of all, like
Dang it.
there
I
we
was
go.
hoping it didn't work.
Yeah, I'm glad it did. But no, like that's the thing that just bothers me about Marvel nowadays, where I wanted to see Morbius because there was a comic I have of Morbius trying to attack the Lizard, and it was an old comic. And Spider-Man, I don't know what happened to him, but he has 6 arms in this. But he's trying to defend the Lizard, and it's Morbius trying to kill him. And I thought that was a really cool thing because it actually scared me seeing Morbius because it even shows like his backstory. And he was a terrifying dude. He's not like, oh, I'm be an anti-hero. I'm gonna save everyone from everything. I swear I'm not evil. Like, no, be evil, bro. Be evil. It suits you. Like, come on now. But I'm just hoping because, like, I don't know in the comics if Silver Surfer is supposed to be like an ultimate villain or if he's just kind of like low key Galactus' side piece, basically. Like, I don't know.
He is literally the Herald goes and scouts planets for Galactus so he can go and eat them. That's his whole job. So it's not like that he's good or bad per se. I mean, he does become like after he leaves Galactus's grasp, he does become more of a hero. But he's not necessarily a bad guy.
So he's neutral in the beginning, essentially, kind of, sort of, but more geared towards bad because of him.
It depends on how you view. It depends on your view. It depends on your view.
Okay.
I would say he would be more neutral personally.
Okay, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I feel that if they do go through with this, they're gonna make Silver Surfer the bad guy, like hardcore bad guy, if they don't introduce Galactus first. Like I really feel that that's gonna be the case. They're gonna change up a lot of things about that, and
It kind of did that with the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie, where he was the bad guy, but then in the end it was just Doctor Doom all along, of course, and then Galactus, which they might do something like that with this one. From what it sounds like, we're just getting a rehash of the Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer movie, which had its ups and downs, for sure, had its ups and downs, but Lucky, you look like you really had something to say.
Yeah, so I don't think they're gonna make it like her, the villain of the movie. I think they're going to do exactly what you just talked about and make her this misunderstood woman who is actually in danger and in this terrible servitude of Galactus. She needs Johnny Storm to hold her dearly and whisper her sweet nothings. That's the vibe that I get because of what they do. They change everything when they do it. I'm not opposed to the idea of gender swapping. To your point, Nova, I think there are some characters that you can get away with doing it, and it's fine, and it's not a big deal. But it's what they do once they do it. It's the whole idea of we're not just going to gender swap. We're going to change everything about this and make it the most like nobody asked for this. We're just trying to be unique challenge. Like we're just trying to make it like, oh, well now she's this damsel in distress and actually kept in a cage when she visits Daddy Galactus, and oh, Johnny Storm is in like this love triangle with her with another person or something. Like it would, because of course it would be that. That's kind of my fear around it. It's like they're going to take it and then destroy everything that you potentially could have liked about it.
Oh my god. I think it's gonna be like a whole soap opera. I can almost bet you money. The Silver Surfer's in a toxic relationship. Meets Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm feels bad, falls in love with her.
Oh
Then he's
gosh.
like, "Oh my god, we have to stop Galactus. He's gonna kill us, but mainly because he's abusing this poor girl." And then a whole love triangle. It's gonna be a soap opera. Oh my god.
I'm gonna throw another wrench in there because I heard rumors of them saying that they were gonna have the script of the Fantastic Four circle around Sue specifically. What if they keep Silver Surfer a guy, but make Galactus a girl, and he's in the toxic relationship, and she falls for him, just like what kind of what happened in Rise of Silver Surfer, and it's the same deal. Like,
And then she cheats on Reed Richards, and then Reed Richards has a whole breakdown. Oh my god.
all right, we're gonna move on from this actually. But speaking of Fantastic Four, we all know the rumors that they're trying to replace Kang with Doctor Doom as the big bad for the multiversal saga, which I don't know how you're going to call it the multiversal saga when you're going away from that. But anyways, from what I'm hearing, Spider-Man 4, Deadpool 3, I believe it was Shang-Chi 2, and... Oh, give me 1 second. Shang-Chi 2... I just had it here in my notes. And Fantastic Four. That's what it is. Those 4 movies are going to set up Avengers Secret Wars. Now, in Secret Wars 2, I mean, they don't ever call it Secret Wars 2 in the comics. It's just the second Secret Wars event. In the second Secret Wars event, Doctor Doom is the antagonist there. There's a lot that goes down in that comic storyline, and I only remember like half of it, but he kind of just becomes a god. That's essentially what happens. So, if they were going to go with the whole getting rid of Kang as the big bad here and replacing with Doctor Doom, and with those 4 movies being the centerpiece of the foundation for Secret Wars, I could see that working successfully. It kind of is disappointing with the whole build-up that they tried to do with the multiverse and the supernatural side of things. But it would be cool because in Secret Wars, we could see every iteration of past heroes. So we could see Chris Evans' Human Torch back, and it would be fine, and it wouldn't be ridiculous. We could see Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man come back. Now, also Spider-Man 4 is supposed to be like conversions where it merges the Sony universe of Marvel characters into the MCU, as well as being a centerpiece for whatever happens in Echo and Daredevil Born Again. So Spider-Man 4 is going to be ridiculous. But if that all happens in that movie, and that's a part of the foundation for Secret Wars, I could see that tying into Doctor Doom being the big bad for this saga. I personally am not a fan of it, especially since we don't even have anyone casted yet. Like, it kind of shows that the MCU's in disarray. But that's another tangent. Lucky, what do you think about this?
I think it kind of shows that they're hitting the panic button a little bit. I think when you do something like this, it kind of, you don't have anybody to play these roles yet. You know what I mean? You don't have really any idea how exactly you're going to pull this off, but you're just kind of like, yeah, here's the plan. Like it sounds like somebody sat there and said, okay, what if we did this? Cool. All right, what if we did this? Cool. It doesn't sound like a thought out plan by a multi-million-dollar company that where they sat down and said, you know what, this is how we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do. And here are the steps we're going to take to do it. It kind of sounds like, well, we could use this as an opportunity, and then we could also use this as an opportunity. Like, I heard that same rumor, Zeus, about how Echo and Daredevil are going to play into Spider-Man 4, but also Sony's going to play into Spider-Man 4. And there's like, it just sounds like a lot. It sounds like, okay, you just had this massive showing with Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Where you brought all the Spider-Man together, you brought all the villains together. Cool. Now you're talking about this weird tie-in effect, right? Where we could be getting Sony Venom, we could be getting Morbi. Who knows what they're gonna bring in from Sony? That's what I'm scared about. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you bringing in? How are you gonna connect the dots? Like at this stage of the game, we should know more about it for me to feel comfortable going into it, because I feel like if the big bad is Doctor Doom, you should already have people like lining up like, hey, this is who we're gonna see, who's gonna, you know what I mean? Like you should already have that list of actors of like, this is my wants list. Let's go down the list and let's figure out who's gonna play him. Okay, this is what we're gonna do for this. How are we going to like chop it up? Just sounds like it's a big mess. Basically, it sounds like between Deadpool and Spider-Man, they're gonna try to shove everything down your throat and be like, this is how we're doing it. And they're gonna be like 2.5 3 hour long movies, and they're just going to like pile it all into that one film, and that's kind of unsettling. I hope they don't do it that way. I would rather them take their time, schedule movies out, address everything that needs to be addressed, and then go about it in a better manner than that. That's just me though.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, they should definitely do quality over quantity, which does kind of show as they're dialing back on their Disney Plus series instead of pumping out like 7 in a year, you know. But no, but what do you think about this? How are you feeling about this?
I think what you just said right there is perfect. Um, just quantity over quality because lately they've been like I was gonna say a bad word. Um,
Don't
just
say the swearsies.
gonna say a bad word. Just like pouring out a bunch of like meh stuff that no one cares about, and then they get bad show reviews and stuff like that, and then they're like, "What's wrong, guys? I thought you liked Marvel. What's going on?" No, we want quality, good stuff. Okay, why are you giving me Oh my gosh,
She Hulk.
yeah, well, I mean, She-Hulk's cool, like the character, but
I
like,
mean, yeah,
why are you giving me a shitty She-Hulk? Oh, oop, bad.
it's already
But
out
yeah,
there.
it's already out there. But then also like I'm trying to think of her name. Kamala. She's like Miss
Miss
Marvel or
Marvel,
something like
yeah,
that.
Kamala Harris.
Why is she getting a show before the movie? Like,
Kamala Harris is the vice president. Kamala
Oh my
Khan.
gosh, Kamala
oh yeah,
Khan.
I
We
was
did
like,
this last time too.
yeah,
I noticed
why is
that.
the vice president in the movie? I'm just joking.
She shouldn't have her own movie.
Yeah, but Miss Marvel, my bad. Why is she getting TV series, and then she gonna be in a movie. Like, why don't you give me a little, give me a little taste test real quick, see if I like it. Then you could commit to a whole series. Cause you could ask anybody. Ain't nobody watched that series. Ain't no one watched that Miss Marvel series. I swear. But you know what I mean? Like they just they gone off the script. They just don't know what they're doing. After they finished up with like the Infinity Wars and all that stuff, my boy Robert Downey Jr. dead and all that stuff, like they were like, "What do we do now?" And then they're like, "You know what? Just let everything loose." And now they're just pumping out everything. It's all over the place. People don't know what's going on, and then they're just wasting money putting into projects that don't make sense. And it, it's just bad. I don't know if they need to like restart everything and just like in the beginning and then just like go back go back to the original Avengers like something I don't know like because they're in trouble. I don't know I don't even know what's going on. Like I don't even remember the last time I've gone to like go to the movies to watch a Marvel movie. Like I don't even remember the last time. Um and but now like you got to watch the series to know what's going on in the movie and it's so confusing. And like I'm like can you just like do one movie a year? Like it's that anticipated movie like we've been waiting for. Like the big, what's it called? And that yeah. That's my 2 cents
Nah,
before I go on a
we
tangent.
we feel
I'm
you.
about
We feel you there.
Okay.
I will say too. Supposedly, Secret Wars is supposed to be a soft reboot for the MCU.
I didn't
So
even watch Secret Wars. See,
it
because they
hasn't
didn't
come
even
out
put no.
yet. That's why you haven't seen it.
Okay, well, what's the one with Nick Fury?
Secret
Secret
Invasion.
Invasion. There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
disappointment.
Yeah. See,
Anyways,
there's so many things.
DP, what are your thoughts?
Um, Before bouncing into that, I don't know if you guys heard the rumor, but this was like a rumor I heard years ago when they first announced the Fantastic Four, and I don't know how I feel about it still. But they said something along the lines that the way that they'll introduce them, because the Baxter building, that's supposed to be the Avengers Tower. They haven't bought the building yet. And from what I heard, that the Fantastic Four is going to come from a different universe coming into the main universe. And then that's going to be the MCU's like Fantastic Four type deal. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember hearing that rumor.
I remember
And
hearing
this is
that
like,
too.
yeah. And like, at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But then, like, I
Is that
by the
but?
time well, mainly because like in the time of the first Avengers, I'm pretty sure the Fantastic Four should have existed during that time, and they didn't. So I guess it would make the most sense to just bring them in from another universe, especially since there's John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic, who already exists. So might as well just bring his Fantastic Four, and then bada bing, bada boom, whatever, use that. Um, but regarding the shows, personally, okay, since I'm such a big fan of Marvel in general, like even though they have had some shows that weren't really the best, I still personally enjoyed watching it because it's Marvel. Even if it sucks, it's still Marvel. At least that's just the way that I see it. Um, Me as someone who actually enjoys watching these movies and shows and stuff like that. The one thing I will say is that there are some shows that I don't really have too much interest in. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the title for Agatha. They just released like the title for
Dark.
that
That's
Agatha
actually their
series.
third title, by the way. There's been 3 titles for the
Yeah,
Agatha series, and they finalized on the Darkhold Diaries.
which sounds like Princess Diaries, but whatever. But I, I don't know. Like, there's some characters that maybe sure, like the way that they did Doctor Strange. I did not care for Doctor Strange before until I saw that movie, and I was like, okay, wow, this is really cool. But with a character like Agatha, which again, I was still majorly disappointed that it wasn't Mephistos in WandaVision.
Thank
I
you.
think that would have been amazing. I was like doing research and like literally looking up Easter eggs and the details when watching the show, like saying, okay, this is definitely Mephistos here. Like it can't be anyone else. And it just Agatha. And then I look up Agatha, and it looks like she looks like Betty White in the comics, like a white, very white Betty White with powers for some reason. And I'm like, where the hell did you come from? Where did you come from? I don't know you. Like you just like there's Wanda, the only witch I know in Marvel, and then there's just this old geezer. Like I don't know who it is, and she's not even old. She's like a middle-aged woman. So I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a great actress. Don't get me wrong, I like her, but it's like if you just kind of start pulling out more shows that interest us, like Daredevil, Echo. I'm in. I wasn't interested in Echo at first, but then I realized, remembering that Echo is part of Kingpin, Daredevil, all that stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back into it. I think I'm gonna try to give it a shot. Um, but I do agree that they have been pumping out a lot of content. It's like to an extent I understand it from a business aspect, but at the same time, if it's doing really bad, then it doesn't make sense business aspect wise. Like if you want a really good movie or a really good show, put some time into it instead of rushing it out like you've been doing for the past few years. So I guess yeah, hits and misses here and there. I agree. Um, I just hope that whatever they do with the Fantastic Four and the next few movies, I hope they are hits. Um, and I'm pretty excited for Secret Wars because I did hear rumors as well. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but Tobey Maguire possibly coming back as Spider-Man for it, and Andrew Garfield, I think, as well. And weren't they supposed to bring Blade at some point during that Secret Wars? Or
Blade has his own movie that's going to be supposedly releasing in 2025. Now, granted, this movie was supposed to have already been released,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason why this movie hasn't been released is because Mahershala Ali has been pissed about the script. It's like 90 pages. It didn't even focus on Blade. He became like the fourth main character. It was through the POV of some woman about life stories, and the action sequences were garbage. And so he was this close. He was about to leave the project completely because it's been in development for like 2 years and then nothing happened. But because of the writer and actor strike, Kevin Feige was like, "All right, we're gonna scrap all of this," and they're redoing the whole thing.
Why would they have that? The perspective of another person for a main character's
I
movie.
have no
That's
idea.
like having Spider-Man, the Spider-Man story through Ned's eyes, and then that's it. Like you see Ned just sitting at the computer,
See,
watching everything conspire.
but even then, he'd become like a second main character. Blade was the fourth main character in his own movie.
That's
From
disrespectful.
from what I was reading, and I was like, dude, that not only is that disrespectful to Blade, but also to Mahershala Ali, because that guy is an amazing actor.
So good.
Him as Blade is the perfect casting that we could possibly have, and this is what they give us: a 90-page lackluster f up. Like,
On top of that, I was gonna say, were they bringing any more like OG characters to Secret Wars? Because I think I might have heard small rumors
nothing
about
confirmed.
Hugh Jackman. Okay, because
I
it'd be
just want
cool.
Ghost Rider, man. I just want Ghost Rider in the MCU, like a good, solid.
Well,
Oh,
technically,
Nick
we had two Ghost Riders in the MCU before they made the Agents of Shield not canon. So that, well, then again, I heard that it is canon now, but up until a certain season. But I'm like, dude, they should just, first of all, they should have left Agents of Shield canon, because not only did it delve into the Inhumans and the Sokovia Accords perfectly, but it also gave us more in depth on the Inhumans with the lackluster F up movie show that happened. We got two Ghost Riders, Johnny Blaze and Robbie Reyes. And we also had Shield still up and about, and it made sense because it tied into Winter Soldier, it tied into Avengers: Age of Ultron, and it tied into Civil War all perfectly. And I'm like,
So wait,
I would just love the Midnight Suns, bro.
supposedly
Like the
that's rumored to be in the works too.
did
please,
they?
please do something that's not PG. Do something that's not like super funny.
I
Do
hate
something,
that.
So wait, did
man.
they stop the canonization of Agents of Shield?
Supposedly it's not canon at all. It was
That doesn't make
canon
any
for
sense.
years. It was completely canon. And then they just made it not canon.
They could have used that Ghost Rider up the graphics a lot, and then like
Even the
made
graphics
it.
for it looked amazing. It's ABC and they had Disney Plus level graphics.
I have to take a look. 'Cause I remember some clips I saw was like,
I mean,
oh
fair, it's been like 5 years, but
yeah. I don't know. Like I think I can't wait to see what they do with Secret Wars, because I feel that they could have a potential just for one movie to just bring back OG people. I mean, just for giggles, bring back Nick Cage
I don't
as
care
Ghost Rider.
about. I don't care. Like that's my thing is we have too many giggles with Marvel. Does that make sense? We have too many giggles. We have too many. Let's throw Tobey Maguire back in it. Let's throw Andrew Garfield back in there, man. Let's throw William Defoe back in there, man. Like I understand it. I understand why they made it the way that they made that, right? I want to take you guys seriously again. I don't want to feel like I'm watching a circus. I don't want to feel like, I was so excited when they casted Ali as Blade. You know what I mean? And then I hear how frustrated he is about it. And it's like, you know why he's so frustrated is because he's such a good actor. And he understands what it takes to make a good movie. And the MCU is a joke now. That is why he was so frustrated. If they would have put the time and the effort in, right, to make it right the first time, then it would have already been out. It would have already been out if you would have done your due diligence, made him the main character in a Blade movie, and just did it the right way, right? Like you have older Blade movies to go off of to kind of see, okay, this is how we could do this. We can kind of do that a little bit. Like, it's not like you're just like, oh man, nobody knows who this guy is. We can try to, like, a lot of people know who Blade is, and a lot of people really love Ali as an actor, including myself. Do right by him. Like, that's all I'm asking. Don't be such a joke, Feige. Like, that's my thing. Like, don't be a joke. I'll take you seriously when you take what you put out seriously. That's when I'll start respecting Marvel again to that degree.
And
Is when
speaking
they
of
craft seriously.
and speaking of that, I was gonna say last question here, like the Inhumans, is that like canon to the MCU, or is that just kind of like Fox kind of just doing that?
So technically, Inhumans is not Fox. That is completely Marvel Disney. That is
Okay.
canon, supposedly. However, I think they're trying to write it off. Because remember, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, is an Inhuman, or was an Inhuman. She's kind of like the whole center focus with the younger line of superheroes. With her, Miles Morales, Amadeus Cho, Nova, yada, yada, yada. So she was yes, this Nova. Yeah, she's an Inhuman, and it would have been the fact that they had her own series. They could have incorporated the Inhumans a lot better that way, and they could have made them more relevant again. Now, I don't know what the frick she is. I don't think she's an Inhuman at all. She basically has the knockoff powers of Green Lantern, from what I saw. Which I'm like, oh great, you have a rip-off Fantastic, or a rip-off Reed Richards turning into a rip-off Green Lantern. Oh, so original, Marvel. But like, it would have been a
I know
great way
she's
for them
mute.
to do it correctly.
Yeah. Okay, because I know that she's a mutant. I know that for sure.
Now she is, yeah.
Yeah, now like it is very different from what I think she did in the comics, which that threw me off that they changed her powers.
It's
in
because
the
she
show.
died. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's in the comics. Sorry, that's in the comics. It's because she
I'm like,
died.
what?
Sorry, because yeah, in the comics she was an Inhuman. She died, and then she became a mutant. That's essentially what happened.
I thought like she died inside or was dead inside.
I mean, we're all
Anyway,
kind of dead
She's just
inside.
depressed, bro.
we're all kind of. But yeah, that's I'm good on my side right here. You know.
Nova, what are your thoughts, man? We did throw out a lot there.
Um, I was listening, I swear. Something about like the OG things or something like that.
Yeah.
I agree with Lucky and DP, honestly. Like they said everything I wanted to say. I think that's perfectly fine.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, at least you're on the same
I'm
page as the rest of
speechless.
us. You're like, wow, they're saying exactly what I'm saying, word for word. All right, well, then I guess we can start to wrap this up here, episode wise. What project that is currently slated to release are you excited for? Now, remember, Moon Knight Season 2 is still happening, She Hulk Season 2 is still happening, Miss Marvel Season 2 is still
God.
happening. We have Deadpool 3 out next year. There's the Agatha Darkhold Diaries happening. We have, in 2025, Fantastic Four, Blade, Captain America Brave New World, and the Thunderbolts. And then there's also Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty that's probably going to get canceled down the line. And then Spider-Man 4 is still slated to happen. So out of those or any of the ones I didn't mention, what are you guys excited for? Lucky.
Yeah, so I got my top three. I'm excited for Moon Knight Season 2. I want to see that character continue to progress. I love Oscar Isaac as an actor. I can't wait to see what he does with that role more in depth, especially with his third personality kind of coming. That's exciting to me. Secondly, I am excited for Blade. I think the fact that they're going back to the script and they're rewriting it, that was the right thing to do. It sucks that they didn't do it the first time the right way, but that does give me hope that they're going to get it right this time. Because if not, I just think Ali's not going to be a part of it. I think if they don't do it right this time, I think he's done. So I do have some hope for that movie. And then thirdly, I am excited for Deadpool 3, man. I am excited for Hugh Jackman. I'm excited to see Ryan Reynolds back in his element. I think that's literally one of the roles Ryan Reynolds was born to play, is Deadpool, in my opinion. So I'm excited to see what they got there in store with Hugh Jackman. I just hope they don't do too much with it. That's my fear with Deadpool 3. Give me Jackman, give me Ryan, and let's spitball this thing.
Okay. I mean, can't disagree with you there, to be honest. No, but what are you excited for, man?
I have a question. Are
Yeah, of
they
course.
bringing out any more Guardians of the Galaxy stuff?
Nothing has been slated yet, but I would expect them to do so in the future, since we'll probably see that incarnation in some way, shape, or form throughout the MCU. But there's
Hmm.
nothing slated yet for a Guardians 4.
Okay, well, I'm excited for Guardians 4 whenever that gets. Um, I don't know. I really enjoyed the Deadpool movie, so probably Deadpool 3. It's one of those actual like edgy, like, risque movies that we actually get to watch and enjoy, and people get to laugh with it. And it's not the cringy laughing where it's like, did I do that? And then everyone's like, "Ah." Yeah, it's actual good, funny goodness. So that, what else you said? Fantastic Four? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
I did say Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. I'm pretty high for that. I do like the Fantastic Four. They're pretty cool, pretty good guys, and the one gal. Um, and I mean, Moon Knight was a huge success. I mean, even many people didn't really know who Moon Knight was, and that show just like took over and made people like actually care about him. So, shoot, that season two, I think it's gonna be pretty hype. Uh, actually, add some fuel to the fire for Marvel. They're like, okay, guys, we could take a break. No, I'm just joking. Get back to work. Um, let's see. I don't know. All the other series though, I think they're gonna be bad. Like the other one. She-Hulk. I think people are literally gonna watch She-Hulk just to shit on it every episode. I like honestly, I think that's the only reason. It's like hate watching.
Yeah,
You know what I
Me,
mean? Yeah, yeah, exactly.
probably
This is
me.
why I buy Disney Plus. Um, I think that's the ones I can think of top of the head, or the
Okay.
ones I can at least remember.
No worries. DP, what ones are you excited for?
First of all, not hate watching.
Oh,
We
so
love
you're
hate
gonna
watching.
enjoy watch that? Oh,
Yes, this is garbage. I can't wait. No,
I love garbage.
garbage. I eat garbage. No, so no. So She-Hulk. I'm curious about your thoughts. Despite the show being bad, do you think that she was a decent She-Hulk? Because I thought she was okay. I thought she was a decent actress for the part.
I think actress wise, she was okay, only considering the fact that Mark Ruffalo portrayed a non-white Bruce Banner, and he's white, and then Jennifer, or whatever her real name is supposed to be also white because they're cousins, and she was not white in the MCU. So it makes sense. I thought she did decent. I personally did not care for her though.
Yeah.
She looked good, like in her She-Hulk form, though. Like no lie, they did really good on her CG for that, except for when she was twerking. But that's.
That was the best part.
I mean, other than that, I think she was written so bad too. Gosh, they wrote her terrible. The whole thing was
They
just
did.
terrible.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say that. Okay. Yeah. So, everyone who knows me, my top favorite movie that I'm, excited for is obviously Spider-Man. I grew up on Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I cannot get enough of Spider-Man. I don't think we have enough Spider-Man. As Lucky would look at me and be like,
That's a strong stance to take.
but no. I am excited for Spider-Man 4. Fantastic Four, if they get it right and don't do what they did with the 2015, which,
I feel
I
like you're
absolutely.
obsessed with that movie at this point. There's so many references to that.
he really loves it, and honestly,
He just
No,
loves Fans Force Stick.
no. What makes me hate it, real quick side note, was literally the fact that the first battle was in a different dimension instead of being in the city against Doctor Doom, which I thought that was just really dumb. And then Doctor Doom being a naked robot Terminator thing, I don't know what he was.
Well, he was an
proof pass.
online hacker blogger dude instead of like the king of an entire country. So
I say
He's
boo to
whittling.
that, first of all. Boo. Um, and
what an excuse to do that.
no, but like there's that, and then obviously Deadpool 3. I loved Ryan Reynolds. I can't wait to see Hugh Jackman again. And I feel that this is definitely going to be a multiversal movie, so they might add some characters that we weren't expecting to see. So I trust Deadpool. They've done right so far. I don't see. I'm not worried about any issues that Deadpool 3 might do, because I know that Ryan Reynolds oversees a lot of it as well. So like,
I mean, he's the
I'm
writer
hoping
and producer, so yeah.
exactly. So like, I'm not worried about it at all. To answer your question, by the way, about Guardians, at the end of Guardians 3, they said Peter Quill will return, but it's unclear how he'll return. So that's the closest thing I could really think of regarding that. Um, and yeah, same about that. Like with Guardians, like if they ever decide to make anything Guardians related, I'm for it. I'm all for it. I'll come right back to see it, type deal. As for the shows, She-Hulk, it was entertaining for me. I wasn't. It was a fun show to watch. Like it was just kind of like it's not the greatest, but it was still fun to watch. Moon Knight 2, obviously, I'm excited for. What Ifs, whenever that comes out, pretty excited for that to an extent.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Comes out next month.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, Nova loves
Daredevil,
it, by the way. I forgot to mention that. He loves that show.
I
it's
love
good.
What If.
It's good. It's good. No, what was the other show? Well, isn't Daredevil coming out soon?
Daredevil Born Again, yes, also. I forgot about that. Daredevil Born
Yeah.
Again is in development currently. They are
Okay.
the showrunners slash directors are doing research. So they've seen
Okay.
the Netflix series and they're reading comics. They supposedly
Okay.
really like the Frank Miller comic run of Daredevil.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and they have the Punisher writer involved in it as well. So
Excited for
Bring
that.
in, bring
Yeah,
in John Berthol. Bring him in.
and he is confirmed to be back and portraying Punisher again.
Even better.
So
Even better. Um, and there was another show as well that was coming out soon, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, well, I don't know if they did any confirmation, but I'm hoping maybe Hawkeye season 2. I enjoyed the first season so much. I think that'd be so much fun. Haley
personally,
Steinfeld.
I also loved that series. I would like to see a season 2 for it. I think it's a
Mhm.
limited series, but I think it would be a great segue to introduce the Young Avengers when you start to do
Yes.
more collaborations, especially with the end credit scene of the Marvels. I think that would be a good way to bring them in there, kind of make it kind of like what Civil War was, or kind of like Batman v Superman, where you have them in there to form the group, kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, I'm excited for that stuff. Agatha. Uh,
She's
uh,
hot.
that's all I gotta say. I'll watch it. I'm not gonna be excited for it, but
Novo, you
eh.
had a question.
Speaking of the Netflix shows, what happened to those? Like, are they
Not
anywhat
canon,
somewhat
but they're
canon? They're not
canon.
canon.
So what
They're
happened
canon, but not
is
canon. Okay.
this is how they did it. Daredevil is canon,
Oh,
but what doesn't make sense is if Daredevil's canon, that means
then
Punisher is
everyone else.
canon, which
Yeah.
we're having the same Punisher in there, so I would assume so. But if he's canon and Daredevil's canon, in turn that would make the Nurse canon, and if she's canon, that would make Luke Cage and Iron Fist canon, as well as Jessica Jones. So that would make that and Defenders canon. But if they're not canon, but Daredevil is canon, does that mean those people reprise their roles, or does that mean Daredevil just wasn't canon?
I think it's a soft reboot.
Or
I
did he
think
have
it's.
imaginary friends that he traveled around with?
I mean, he
Foster's
was
home for
blind.
imaginary friends, so
I mean, bro was
Just
blind,
thought
so
he could get away with that, bro. Like just some dude.
that's how he picks up
saying,
chicks. Let's be honest.
I mean, again, bro was blind, so he could have been
Yeah.
imagining this stuff for all we know.
Personally, I think they should just make the Defender saga canon because
I agree.
one, it has
Yeah.
absolute no impact on the MCU in any major way,
I
and
agree
you're able to
with that, right?
reprise all of the character or all the actors in the roles. The only issue is Mahershala Ali did play Cottonmouth in Luke Cage, so him being Blade is a little bit of a issue there,
That's
and
fine. Put a
his
mustache on him.
and I think it was his sister or cousin. She was also in Captain America: Civil War as one of the ladies, or as the lady that talked to Iron Man on the elevator in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, you could always play that off as that's still her, and then since that guy, Marshall Ali's character is dead, you can always just have someone else like play him. But I think they should just make it canon. Personally, same thing with Agents of Shield. I don't see any reason why to not make those canon because
Yeah, I
Agents of
think they
Shield
should
has a
bring it
direct
back.
impact to the MCU. And then when they get into space and the multiverse, you can always write that off as either not canon or alternate dimension.
I still consider Daredevil canon. I mean, we had the same Kingpin and everything.
It's
I personally,
technically canon.
yeah,
Daredevil
think
is
can,
canon.
yeah, yeah. I still
I,
consider it canon.
I think it's the way it should be. And then just to throw it out there, remember Kevin Feige. If you go with any of these ideas that we've thrown out over the past 40 or so minutes, pay us all. Pay out.
Pay out, man.
All right. All we need is a check.
Just hire me as a writer, honestly, at this point. Like, I'll probably write a better script than the one that did Quantumania, I'll be honest.
Just send us the checks. We won't say anything. You don't even have to mention it. Just say, yeah, from Kevin.
I'll say something.
Kevin.
Or Venmo's in there or something.
Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, you know how to do. Well, last but not least, I'll give you guys my interesting picks. I'm actually surprised a lot of you guys are sleeping on this. Captain America Brave New World. I am actually excited for that because, first of all, I love the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. I thought that was an amazing entry into the MCU. And seeing Sam Wilson as Captain America again, I think is going to be great. Now, Harrison Ford is replacing, I can't remember his name, but they're replacing the previous General Ross because he passed away. Rest in peace. So he's going to replace him, and supposedly he's going to be the Red Hulk too, which I'm like, if we get to see Red Hulk, oh my gosh, that's going to be awesome. And the leader from the Incredible Hulk movie is also going to be an antagonist in this movie, which that means we also get to see him finally make his return, same actors reprising the role and everything. And I'm actually interested to see as to what's going to happen. Now, the previous title was New World Order, which I was like, Disney, that's a little on the nose, don't you think? But, I think Brave New World's fine. We'll have multiple antagonists for sure. I think it could also tie into Thunderbolts, since that's where Bucky is right now. So I'm really excited for that movie. They had several delays because the action sequences were not up to par with the previous Captain America movies, which I've said this in a previous video. Captain America Winter Soldier is peak action in MCU. Like, I have never seen any better action than like the fight scene with Captain America and Winter Soldier on the highway. Oh, chills, dude. But I'm really excited for that movie. If we get something like that, especially with Falcon with the wings, like he'll use it to like shield, and that could be so sick. Deadpool 3, I think everyone's excited for. I don't see a reason as to not be excited for it. It is going to have to do with the multiverse. Supposedly, it's going to have to do with the TVA as well. So that'd be nice to kind of tie in Loki in with that. And then we get to see finally comic accurate costume of Wolverine in there. And we get to see Dogpool as well. There's going to be a lot of stuff in that movie. So it's going to be cool. Daredevil, heck yeah, I'm excited for it. Concerned, but excited. Kind of like what Lucky said too, I'm really excited for Blade. We've seen the character before with Wesley Snipes, and the first two movies were great. We don't talk about the third one, but the first two movies were great. And Mahershala Ali is just a fantastic actor, as previously mentioned. So I'm excited for that as well. Honestly, Fantastic Four, I'm not excited for anymore. I'm actually worried. I was excited, I was hyped, but with what's been going on with the rumors of the script, of the casting, and the antagonists, I'm extremely worried. Now, Marvel could be trolling us, and that's no surprise. I mean, DC does that. HBO has their own accounts that they used to troll news reporters with, so this could be like that. I mean, I'm more concerned than excited for the MCU, though, but I am still excited. Like, I'm not out of the woods just yet. It's gonna, with these projects coming around, and Moon Knight season 2, of course, excited for that. I was on that train since day one when the show came out. So as long as we can get some of these good shows and movies that are coming back or making re-returns like Daredevil, I think we'll be good. I think we'll be pretty solid. But man, Marvel is really the thumbs up. He's just okay. Yeah, we'll just I'm just going to ignore that. But yeah, so that's really going to wrap this podcast episode up here. Let us know in the comments below what you guys are excited for, what you're worried about, and what other topics you guys want to see us talk about. We can honestly do this all day. That's why we have to split these up into multiple episodes, because you need to be doing this all day. But yeah, definitely don't forget to like, subscribe, follow wherever you're watching and listening. I'm Captain Zeus. That was Lucky DP and Nova. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. See you guys.